Okay, I'm going to read Muncha, Muncha, Muncha to you. And it's written by Candace Fleming and illustrated by G. Brian Karras. Or Karras. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Muncha, Muncha, Muncha. For years, Mr. McGreely dreamed of planting a garden. He dreamed of getting his hands dirty, of growing yummy vegetables, and of gobbling them all up. But he never once tried it until, "This spring," said Mr. McGreely, "this spring, by golly, I'm going to plant a garden." So he hoed, and he sowed, and he watched his garden grow. Lettuce, carrots, peas, tomatoes. Yum, yum, yummy, said Mr. McGreely. I'll soon fill my tummy with crisp, fresh veggies. But one night, when the sun went down and the moon came up, 3 hungry bunnies appeared. Tippy, 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 pat. Tippy, 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 pat. Muncha, muncha, muncha. Oh no, what do you think the farmer's going to do? The next morning, when Mr. McGreely saw his gnawed sprouts, he was angry. So he built a small wire fence all around his vegetable garden. There, he declared, no bunny can get into my garden now. And the sun went down, and the moon came up, and tippy, 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 pat. Spring, hurdle, dash, dash, dash. Muncha, muncha, muncha. Oh, that gate did not help, did it? They got over the little fence. The next morning, when Mr. McGreely saw his nibbled leaves and gnawed sprouts, he was really angry. So he built a tall wooden wall behind the small wire fence all around his vegetable garden. Humph, he huffed. Those flop ears will never get over it. No bunny can get into my garden now. Do you think they'll get in the garden? We'll see. And the sun went down, and the moon came up, and tippy, 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 pat. Dig, scrabble, scratch, scratch, scratch. Spring, hurdle, dash, dash, dash. Muncha, muncha, muncha. Look at look at him up there in the corner. What is he dreaming of? Yes, carrots. He's dreaming of carrots. Mr. McGreely. The next morning, when Mr. McGreely saw his chewed stems, his nibbled leaves, and his gnawed sprouts, he was really, really angry. So he made a deep, wet trench, like a hole in the ground, outside the tall wooden wall, behind the small wire fence, all around his vegetable garden. "Ha!" he snorted. "Those puff tails can't get under it. They can't get over it. No bunny can get into my garden now." So do you see the trench? The hole around it? Look at him, his mouth open wide. He's very, very angry. And the sun went down, and the moon came up, and tippy, 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 pat. Dive, paddle, splash, splash, splash. Dig, scrabble, scratch, scratch, scratch. Spring, hurdle, dash, dash, dash. Muncha, muncha, muncha. Oh, they got in there. The next morning, when Mr. McGreely saw his chopped blossoms, he chewed stems, his nibbled leaves, and his gnawed sprouts. He was furious! So he hammered and blocked, sawed and stalked, drilled and filled and trapped and locked, and he built a huge, enormous thing before the deep, wet trench, outside the tall wooden wall, behind the small wire fence, all around his vegetable garden. "I've outsmarted those twitch whiskers for sure," he exclaimed. "They can't get through it, they can't get under it, and they can't get over it. Nobody, no way, no how can get into my vegetable garden now." Do you see how the letters are in capital letters and then we have the exclamation point? It's showing great, intense emotion. He is very furious, very angry, very mad. And the sun went down, and the moon came up, and do you think they made it? Let's check. Tippy, 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 stop! The 3 hungry bunnies looked and smelled and touched the huge, enormous thing before them, and tippy, 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 pat. The bunnies hopped away. The next morning, when Mr. McGreely saw his untouched vegetables, he was, what do you think? Happy. "I beat the bunnies!" he whooped and did a jiggly-wiggly victory dance. Woo! Then he climbed over, jumped across, squeezed between, and crawled under until he reached his vegetable garden. "Ah," he sighed. "At last!" Smacking his lips, he picked and pulled up lettuce, carrots, peas, tomatoes, and with his basket overflowing, he reached inside for something yummy. What's yummy? Muncha, muncha, muncha. Oh no, what is in the basket? So what did he decide to do? He decided to eat the carrots with the company of the rabbits, of the bunnies. The end.